This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
They can never match it, they can never stop. Cause I've been really giving everything that I got. Cause I've been working on a plan and a plot. Over with the killers and we going to the top. We blowing up your city and you might get dropped. Cause we are never quitting, we are never giving up. So the enemies, I'm taking them apart. I'm a young boss, got me feeling like a rock. They can never match it, they can never stop. Cause I've been really giving everything that I got. Cause I've been working on a plan and a plot. Over with the killers and we going to the top. We blowing up your city and you might get dropped. Cause we are never quitting, we are never giving up. So the enemies, I'm taking them apart. I'm a young boss, got me feeling like a rock. They can never match it, they can never stop. Cause I've been really giving everything that I got. Cause I've been working on a plan and a plot. Over with the killers and we going to the top. We're blowing up your city and you might get dropped. Yeah, I'm the hunter, you're the prey. You a bird that I never run away. Cause I'm the one that fights to the pain. I'm the new leader, it's time for a change.
MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, it still does not matter who the host is. What always has mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, how are you? I hope everything is good and grand inside of your neck of the woods. Today is Wednesday, which is known as that famous Whip 'em Out Wednesday, August the 7th of 2024, day 220th of the year, and only 146 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM and hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Yeah, streaming 24/7 on radiobig.fm. No doubt about that, on how we move and groove and do all the fun stuff that we get to do. No doubt about that. So with that being said, how are you? How's it been? How has the last 24 hours or so been? I have to tell you, kind of a mixture of things yesterday. Some people like the mall episode that we discussed yesterday. And then I was amazed on hearing on people already reaching out to me about the fake podcast. Yeah, the fake podcast. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, well, we did a podcast yesterday on Safety FM with Jay Allen. That it's me interviewing someone. And then you come to find out, because I tell you at the very beginning, that it's not really me. It's AIJ. Yeah, that's a new thing there. AIJ. Having a whole discussion with people in regards of human and organizational performance versus behavior-based safety and the difference between the two. And I didn't write anything. I spoke at the beginning of the episode. I spoke at the end. And it's about a 30-minute episode of AI having a conversation with someone else. And the assumption that it's me. Yeah. It's pretty interesting on how technology works. So if you haven't taken a listen to it, feel free on giving it a little gander. It's Safety FM with Jay Allen. You can find it on your favorite podcatcher, no doubt there. So there you go. Anyways, if you're new here and if you're old, well, I mean, congrats on making it here one way, shape, or form. But our show consists of safety in the news and safety. So what does that mean to you? Well, we talk about news things and we talk about things related to safety that are going on in ahora, like in real time. So those are the things that we discuss. Those are the things that we talk about. And then we come back and do all of the move and the groove of the stuff that needs to be discussed. So there you go. That's what it is. If you want to interact with the show, it's a simple process on doing so. Callinradio.com will get you moving and grooving. That's Call In Radio. We'll get you directly into here, and we'll get to move and groove and all that other kind of fun stuff. So there you go. That is the stuff that happens. So there you go. Now you know. Now I know. So why don't we do this? Why don't we start talking right away about what the hell was trending?
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as we look at the trends of the ends of Western state dominates the best places to live, and the Red Cross needs your blood. Yeah, we'll talk about that as we get into the shit list. Also, several follow-up stories. We'll get into that as we get into showbiz. House of Dragons has 2 seasons left. We'll talk about that as we get into casting calls. And also the Royals has a weird connection to the Midwestern town. And we'll talk about how that stuff comes about. So there you go. So professional broadcasters are waiting in the wing to broadcast away from their heart's little desire. So if you're good, I'm good, and we'll get that whole ball rolling your general direction right now. Remember, Call In Radio gets you into this thing for us to go through everything that is going on. So if you want to, let's go ahead and get into the news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Feature story news in London. I'm Ollie Barrett. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have held their first rally together in Philadelphia after she chose him as Democratic running mate in the race for the White House. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump has branded his rival's choice as dangerously liberal in a new attack ad. Kate Fisher reports from Washington.
Democrats are hoping that Tim Walz's plain-speaking, small-town style will appeal to independents and conservatives in key Midwestern states. Republicans have branded the pair as beholden to the most progressive forces in their party, and the Trump campaign's already released an attack ad.
Tim Walz will be a rubber stamp for Kamala's dangerously liberal agenda. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. They're failed, weak, and dangerously liberal.
Harris and Walz will tour key battleground states in the coming days to try to sell their partnership to American voters. Kate Fisher, Washington.
Nobel Prize-winning banker Mohammed Yunus will lead Bangladesh's interim government after Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina fled the country following a mass uprising. Bangladesh's army chief has been holding talks with civil society leaders amid political uncertainty as the South Asian nation remains on the edge. Ishan Gerg reports.
Mohammed Yunus will be the chief advisor to the interim government, which is set to take shape in the next few days after the country's parliament was dissolved on Tuesday. The Nobel Prize winner has been a vocal critic of Sheikh Hasina and has faced what he calls trumped-up charges of corruption. He called Hasina's resignation Bangladesh's second Liberation Day. Hasina, meanwhile, is in India, reportedly seeking safe passage to the UK, where she is believed to be seeking asylum. Locals say despite Hasina's exit following weeks of protests against government job quotas, things haven't totally calmed down. While no major instances of violence have been reported since Tuesday, many are still concerned about lawlessness and violence against the country's minorities. Ishan Garg, New Delhi.
Hamas has named Yahya Sinwar as its new overall leader. He's been leader of the group in Gaza since 2017 and replaces Ismail Haniyeh, who was assassinated in Tehran last week. UK police say they're prepared ahead of possible disorder on Wednesday. Officials have been monitoring reports of far-right calls for gatherings in dozens of locations. Prime Minister Keir Starmer says rioters can expect rapid sentencing within days. Tuesday night saw relative calm compared to previous days. Home Affairs expert Danny Shaw thinks some of the response so far could have been more rapid.
Too slow in some cases. They haven't got the numbers on the streets that they really should have done fast enough, and I don't think there have been prosecutions quickly enough.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Social media giants are coming under pressure from the British government after a week of riots by far-right protesters across England and in Belfast that have been fuelled by entirely false conspiracy theories about the perpetrator of a stabbing attack on a dance party of young girls last week. The violence has spread to major towns and cities across England, and far-right leaders and influencers have been given free rein on Elon Musk's X and other other platforms to spread blatant misinformation. Mr. Musk himself claimed civil war is inevitable in Britain. Bruce Daisley is a former vice president for Europe at Twitter.
Since Elon Musk has bought the social media app, he's reduced the staff by about 3/4. And so while we used to have people who would spend their time, in my time there, trying to liaise with government, MPs, newspapers, to try and ensure that the platform was being used for good purposes, there's no resource there now. I suspect this is just another illustration that the social media platform has become a plaything for the billionaire. And I'm not sure if he's really demonstrated he's concerned about consequence at all.
Mr. Musk has also allowed far-right figures previously banned back onto his platform. The British government now struggling to determine how to stop their racist and false theories from being instantly communicated over social media to their followers. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have held their first rally together in Philadelphia after she chose him as Democratic running mate in the race for the White House. Nobel Prize-winning banker Mohammed Yunus will lead Bangladesh's interim government. Hamas has named Yahya Sinwar as its new overall leader. And UK police say they are prepared and resourced ahead of possible disorder on Wednesday. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and were not 100% sure on what they meant. Things as mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, Go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' best life insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. Ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
Some of the best things in life come to those who wait, but we ain't waiting for shit. Radio Big. Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. 17 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday. That is for sure. Yeah, so there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the multiverse, as you heard. Definitely no doubt about that. And always information to provide and talk about and move forward with as this world continues to do some interesting things. No doubt about that. Anyways, as we get into the shit list, at least 24-hour, 70-pound bricks of blow washed up to on the Florida Keys on Monday after Hurricane Debbie made landfall. The drugs have a street value worth about $1 million. A visitor at the beach alerted authorities of finding the trash bag full of cocaine. Each brick contains a glowing red symbol, the black background taped to it. A bit of internet sleuthing suggests that the logo is a knockoff of Barcelona-based electric vehicle company Cupra. It is the most likely drug ring that just knock off the emblem, but also an interesting note that the drug cartels appear to be leaning into a brand of their products of such as any organization. So there you go. That makes it pretty interesting when you start thinking about it. So you're using a existing brand to market your drogas with. Yeah, I mean, it gets interesting. I mean, let's not lie about it and say that it's not interesting. But I look at it from the standpoint and I go, you got $1 million worth of blow hitting up, and this is what's going on. So I don't know. I mean, I look at it and go, what do you think is best suited here? I mean, I look at it from the standpoint of, you do you. I mean, I never know what to think when it comes to the drug stuff, because you look at it and go, so it was actually on the beach. And it blew up on the beach. So what do you do here? I mean, do you look at it and go, oh, it's an interesting time, no doubt about that. So I don't know. I mean, there's pictures available online if you take a look around on some of the information of what was going on. Let me see if I can find the video that I was looking at earlier in regards to that, and maybe we can do the scander-ander of going into some of this stuff. Because, it's always a good time as we do this. So let's take a look. This is actually coming off of Fox News. So let's do this.
This is St. Petersburg Beach, Florida. Look at this. Wow. Sunday afternoon, time lapse shows what was going on in the hours leading up to the overnight hours. Debbie moving in during sunset yesterday, parts of Florida under a tornado watch until 6 a.m. Eastern time this morning. Always one of the effects of some of these outer bands. And as we take a look at the latest track here, there you can see it getting closer to the land. Still a Category 1.
Is this the video? I don't think this is the video.
Reason for this?
No, this is not the video.
The
so anyways, if you go down here and if you're looking on the stream reamer with the video, you'll see the logo and you'll see how some of this stuff is wrapped in black and so on. And apparently, we're in Ad Central here on this website. But man, there is a whole slew of stuff to take a look at. But, I look at it and I go, whatever works, man, in regards of if you do and you. But man, taking millions of dollars worth of product and sending it that way. Whatever. Anyways, meanwhile, in Michigan, a 42-year-old Canadian national was busted last week for trying to bring in 266 pounds worth of cocaine into the United States over a Blue Water Bridge. Yeah, a Blue Water Bridge. The person was trying to bring the druggos in. Also, in a crossing point at the southern tip of the Lake Hurton, his bond has been set at $3 million altogether for this. So there you go. I mean, apparently it's drug day here on the show. So let's go ahead and talk about that. So a 42-year-old Canadian was taken into custody after reportedly attempting to smuggle 266 pounds of cocaine into Michigan, according to the U.S. Customs border. So there you go. That's according to the border agents. So I look at it and I go, what kind of a weird thing is here? I'm sure I have this story because that one I was, I look at stories because that's what we do around here. We talk about all this weird stuff. So like somebody has to play catch up in regards of what's going on. So let's take a listen here to this one. Let's go.
Here's Paul Whelan is a free man. Their brutal ordeal is over and they're free. An historic
that's not the one. That's something else. See, apparently it's a bad day, but here you go. Here's the cocaine that the guy was trying to bring in. $3 million worth. So there you go. I mean, I guess it was kind of hidden inside of there in regards of what he was attempting to do. So there you go. And it was inside of different sections of the truck itself. I mean, I guess it's kind of a smooth move, if one may say it that way, in regards of what was being attempted there. I don't know. It gets strange for me in regards to when people start doing this. So, yeah, strange.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Yeah, so let's talk about some other things because it's always some weird facets of stuff that is going on inside of the world of the multiverse. No doubt there. So with that being said, why don't we look into some of this? Have you heard about this? Americans have never had more credit card debt, according to the New York Fed report. In the second quarter of the year, aggregate balance rose by $27 billion. Yes, $27 billion with a B, totaling $1.14 trillion. The same timeline, Americans took out $374 billion in new mortgage debt. By contrast, during the hot housing market in 2021 and 2022, that number typically exceeded $1 trillion every quarter. This is according to the New York Feds. So there you go, $1 trillion. So now we're talking about new debt of $27 billion. Listen, when it comes back time to pay the piper, you're going to have to think about all this stuff. And this is what people tend to forget. It's that whole contrast in regards of amount of money that's owed back. And think about some of these interest rates that end up taking place from time to time. The interest rates get crazy and crazier. And when I say this, think about it. We're talking about when people start saying, okay, I'm going to borrow $1. And if you borrow $1 and it's on a department store card, and all of a sudden you have to pay 30 cents to every dollar that you owe, that's not a good investment. And the other portion you have to think about, let's just go traditional cards. And we're not going to go low interest or anything. If you go with an 18-cent card, there is nothing that where you pay $1.18 for $1 that you borrowed that you can normally get back as an investment. So your biggest investment on that is don't buy anything with a card if you can. I mean, it's kind of a weird one to talk about. And probably don't take financial advice from me, but listen to people who are professionals that know about this kind of stuff, because I'm definitely sure as hell not a CPA. But damn, do I listen to this smart guy out of Franklin, Tennessee, and he seems to know what the hell he's been talking about for years. So just something to think about. Anyways, a consumer affairs study ranks Utah as the best state to move to in 2024. The research examined 5 principal categories: affordability, economy, education, health, and quality of life, and safety. Utah's low property tax and high medium household income is around $79,500 a year, and it helped earn the top spot. The bottom one, are you ready for this? I don't think you're going to be amazed when I say this, was California. Yeah, California was the least favorable to looking into. So, best states to move to, I just gave you number 1. Let's give you the top 10. South Dakota at 10, Iowa at 9, Pennsylvania at 8, South Dakota at 7, Maine at 6, Massachusetts at 5, Minneapolis at 4. Or it's not Minneapolis, Minnesota, excuse me. Number 3, Idaho. Number 2, New Hampshire. And then, of course, we already talked about Utah. The worst states to move to, according to this report: number 10, Mississippi. Number 9, Oregon. Number 8, Washington, D.C. I mean, I think that's kind of like default. Number 7, Oklahoma. Number 6, Washington. Number 5, Alaska. Number 4, Louisiana. Number 3, Texas. Number 2, New Mexico. And number 1 was California. So there you go. There's some good explainer-ainers there if you want to take a look at it. But that's neither here nor there. It's all going to depend on what you're looking for. And that is where people get all kinds of weird about stuff, because, hey, you never know where you should move to. It's just one of those things of, do you want to move, and what makes the most logical sense in regards of moving? Because people get weird about all that stuff. Just think about it for just one moment.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R, safety show.
Okay, so let's continue talking, because there is no doubt that we should be talking. The Red Cross needs your blood. No doubt about that. Warm temperatures in July cause low turnouts, and more than 100 blood drives scheduled across the country last month. The organization says that its national supply has dwindled by 25% since July the 1st, after it received 19,000 fewer donations than its target. To help encourage the donation, people who give blood between now and the end of the month will get a $20 Amazon gift card. I don't know. Is that encouragement? I mean, you should want to donate blood, not because of the amount of money that is been being dispensed. Just saying, just bringing this up as some information, no doubt there. But I mean, you'll know better than I do, because I don't know anything. I just sit here and talk. That's the way that it goes. Anyways, a polite thief left an apology note for one San Fernando businesses that it ransacked last week. Sorry, need money for drugs. Won't come back. The yellow posted note read, while the apology is nice, the business owner isn't ready to let it slide, saying that the guy left behind broken glass, trashed the cash register, and threw coins all over the place. The burglary is just one of the slew of break-ins in the area, which the police think that is committed by the same person. So it gets interesting, because I think they all get interesting as we start talking about it. No doubt about that. So what do you think here? Is the apology note even worth anything at this particular point, or is it just kind of a waste of time? Some people get, very apologetic about things that they do, but hey, it's neither here nor there. It's just stuff that people do and want to talk about. So with this being said, why don't we go ahead and see if we can find the video on this information on what the hell was going on, because it always makes it interesting to see some more. No doubt about that. So let's go ahead and do this real quick.
That 10 businesses were targeted. They were either burglarized or vandalized. Now, like you mentioned, a suspect left a note behind one of the businesses, a restaurant called Teriyaki Madness. And what that note says may surprise you. Take a look at the surveillance footage from Teriyaki Madness in San Fernando. It shows someone breaking into the business, stealing money, and then writing on a Post-it note. It says, "Sorry, need money for drugs, won't come back."
Honestly, it was pretty scary. I was here as the...
I mean, how did you crawl through there, and what kind of space did you make in regards of doing it? And then leaving an apology note makes it even more interesting as we are talking. Here, let's do some more.
Only owner around because my parents went to go to my sister's tournament for softball, and I had to deal with this all by myself. It was quite frightening.
This is surveillance video from Protein Stop, located...
I don't know. I think the girl gave a little bit too much information on what was going on in her personal life with her parents being gone. I mean, I think that kind of makes you kind of a target for the next one, but that's just an opinion here, of course.
Only a couple minutes from Teriyaki Madness. You can see it appears like the same man broke into the shop. The owner at Protein Stop says at least $500 was stolen from the register.
This person appears to have done this before because it looks like they were... concealing their fingerprints and being very careful on how they touched, what they touched.
Police say in total 3 businesses were burglarized, 6 vandalized, and police say 1 targeted in a grand theft. Those businesses include Teriyaki Madness and Protein Stop, as well as a nutrition restaurant, a coffee shop, 2 taco restaurants.
Hey, I'm not trying to give any justification here, but does the protein place leave their money inside of the cash register overnight? I don't think I've ever heard of anybody doing that before. I mean, it's different, that's for sure. Let's continue.
2 ice cream shops and a property management office.
It's just the things that we find out here. We try to keep this place nice and clean, you know, for the public and for what we have to do. But the thing is, we run into stuff like that.
Ashkenazi Development has 6 tenants that were targeted.
Insurance doesn't cover a lot of it. A deductible is $5,000, and you know how insurance rates are going up, and people are afraid to make insurance claims, and it's not okay that this is happening to our small businesses.
Police say they are working possible leads in this case, but at this time, those suspects have not been found.
Okay, hold on. Did she use suspects as a plural there? Because that's what it sounded like to me. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, sounds like a cluster overall. That there is no doubt there, but it gets weird. It gets weird for sure. So there you go. Anyway, so what do you think? Craziness never stops.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, so there you go. 32 minutes past the top of the hour. I think we need to go ahead and do that thing that we do right now, no doubt here. So let's go ahead and get into our main story because it's time to be, doing that.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, main story time. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because if there wasn't a lot of stuff going on inside of the multiverse, not 100% sure on what we would be doing. We would definitely be doing something else, and nobody wants to be doing something else because that's not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be talking about the main story. So let's talk. Let's move. Let's groove. Let's think about some of these things that we need to put into context in regards of what's going on. And I had a question come up recently, and I thought it was pretty interesting of a question to think about, to talk about, and to move forward with. And it relates to human and organizational performance. And the question was stemmed something along these lines. I have worked at this place for the last 5 years. They have used behavior-based safety ever since I started. Recently, they have moved over to human and organizational performance. The person that's in charge of safety has always been strong on behavior-based safety, but has changed the way that they actually look at stuff, and now are using HOP. The concern is that the mentality of what was being used during behavior-based safety will be the format that they'll go back to, because of the level of fear that was instilled into the people that were inside of the organization previously. How do you manage these fears? Boy, does that become an interesting one, doesn't it? Because think about it. It's kind of like anything that you do in life. It's kind of like anything that you go through in regards of relationships. And let me explain when I say relationships here, because that can sound kind of weird. When you're going through a relationship, and when you're going through something where you need change, and I'm not talking about like money change, I'm talking about like change in life in regards to the stuff that's going on, it gets strange because of the following thing. things have happened previously, so you're expecting the bottom to fall out. And you're probably expecting that this is what people defaulted to previously, so why would it not be the same thing going forward? I understand all of these things, but this is where you have to take the risk. This is where you have to sit back for a moment and go, okay, is it worth the risk and reward in regards of talking about some of this stuff? Or do you go, no, it's not worth it because I know that we're going to default back to where we were? It's a little bit convoluted. We've talked about this previously about it's kind of hard to be a prophet in your own land. And this is what happens. Previously, if you've listened to some of the other episodes that we've done, we've talked about that it's very difficult at times to take somebody who is a supervisor and put them into a management position if they're inside of the same facility, because people are going to remember how they were previously. And so those changes are a little bit more difficult to adhere to because of all the changes that are coming forward. So with that being said, I want you to think about this for a moment. You have to give a person the opportunity to see what they're going to do moving forward. And if they default back to what they did previously under the behavior-based safety scenario or whatever scenario they're in, you can't have it as a gotcha moment. People will revert always to what is comfortable to them in regards of doing certain things. So look at it from this standpoint. Learn together. And if it's a 5-year thing, you've been there for 5 years, my question automatically becomes, how long has the person been there that you're talking about? Because that's going to be always the other context of the whole thing. If you're looking at it from the standpoint of, hey, I know that this is going to happen, probably not the best idea to start looking at it that way. Look at it from the standpoint that you're learning and improving together. And that the changes that are coming into the organization are going to be overall cultural changes, and they're going to take time. Yes, people will default back to some of the things that they do. It is kind of common things where people revert to what they do. Not that it's a permanent thing, it's just what they're comfortable with. Think about it. When we look at behaviors of people, and I'm not talking about behavior-based safety, I'm talking about behaviors. People are one way around people, and they're another way when they're by themselves. It is just kind of the way that you take a look at things that are going on. So it's not reprogramming per se, but it's programming that mentality on how things will need to change as they move forward. That's going to be something to think about, because that's going to be where the world is going to change for you and technically for them all at the same time. Think about that one today for sure.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, Internet Service Providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly. Less than $2 a month and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
If you
wish that Facebook had a suck it button? You suck! This rock block is for you. Radio.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out. And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Another pitfall of our society. Rated R Safety Show.
That I never run away, cause I'm the one that fights to the pain. I'm the new leader, it's time for a change. What you know about living in the rain, living in the cold.
Okay, here we go, 43 minutes past the top of the hour.
That's not you, yeah.
Still hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show. No doubt about that. This is Young Boss with God Mode, or God Mode, Young Boss, better saying. Yeah, enjoy it here. But you can enjoy it on your own, on YouTube Music, Apple Music, and Spotify. There you go. There's some 3 options for you. Give it a little streamer-eamer action. Yeah. Good times. Doing the thing. Doing the gig. So, there you go. So, thanks to God Mode for allowing us to play Young Boss here. Always a good time as we get to listen to some musica together, no doubt about that. So, yeah, you know, there's just some lines there that are quite crucial. So there you go. Always a gooder in regards of what we're doing. No doubt about that. Anyways, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that is about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And To Write Love on Her Arms wants you to know that people have been where you are now and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com to find out more information. So, simple process in regards of doing it. That is the way that the world goes. So think about it in that fashion as you are more moving forward. TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. Ta-da! That is the world that we live in. So there you go. Yep. Once you get there, go all the way to their website, TWLOHA.com, Twala, and all of a sudden click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, you'll see information related to addiction, suicide, depression, anxiety, trauma, eating disorders, grief support, self-injury, and so on. So information is readily available if you're so inclined to look for it. There you go. So somebody already contacted me. Apparently I didn't mention this, so let me kind of backtrack for a moment. So sorry that I didn't reference it earlier. So let's go ahead and go through it. I didn't talk about the Dow. So let's talk about the Dow. The Dow added 294 points to close at 38,997 on Tuesday, and the S&P increased by 3 points to close at 5,240, and the Nasdaq increased by 166 points to close at 16,366. West Texas Intermediate closed at $73 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $76 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.46 on Tuesday, and Bitcoin rebounded on Tuesday, just up about 4.5%, trading around 56,400. And there was more than 4,350 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States on Tuesday, and about 1,020 such cancellations. Tonight's Powerball drawing will be for a $185 million jackpot with a $92.1 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you have the opportunity to do so. So there you go. Always some information to talk about, because there is no doubt for us to talk about some weird stuff. I just look at it and go, it's a plethora of things to talk about. So there you go. Anyways, let's look into some other information, because that is what we need to do. If this fine week Monday morning is just a doozy, when you were thinking about that earlier in the week, you can take this to your boss. Another study suggests that a 4-day work week or shorter work days might be the best way forward. Previous research benefits that this way of working has showed lower levels of stress and burnout and a better work-life balance, but new research looked at the opposite, the negative impact of not reducing hours of days work and continuing to plot out the standard 9 to 5 5-day work routine. Research from Texas A&M University found that productivity dips towards the end of the day and near the end of each week. It is also determined that after lunchtime, our energy starts to diminish, and we're more likely to make mistakes and get more mistakes and get our boss, kind of pissed off at us. And get this, boss, the worst time for workers is the terms of productivity errors is Friday afternoon. I have to tell you, I know of people that have jobs that apparently they try to do a lot of meetings on Friday afternoon for people who won't leave early, which I always think is weird. But there you go. Also, Monday mornings and Thursdays, though. And Monday afternoons and the day when we're meeting the first day back after the holidays, and when the boss is away, and also the day ending in donuts are all bad days. And yeah, you got to admit, some of it is just because we don't give a damn on Fridays. So, I don't know. A lot of things to think about. How do you look at this? I look at it from the standpoint of you have to do whatever is in the best interest of you and the organization is the way that it works. So I don't know. Take a listen to this one. A supermarket in Germany asked customers to pay a little more for each item last week. Now the high inflation for the past few years, that itself is particularly noteworthy, but discount grocery store penny charge more for things like meats and cheeses to reflect the true cost of the environment and people's health. And in all of its 2,150 branches. Penny's has raised prices for 9 products based on calculation from 2 German universities, taking into account that cost relates to the climate, soil, health, and water use. One brand of cheese rose from $2.74 to $5.33, a 94% increase. Scientists determined that the cheese production cost of 85 cents for emissions such as methane, 76 cents in soil damage, and from farming. So that's farming practices, 63 cents in pesticides used, and 10 cents for groundwater pollution. Also, let's see, a brand of sausage increased from $3.51 to $6.62, an 88% increase. Others directed at consumers and not sustainable agriculture practices. I wonder how Penny would have reacted if suppliers decided to do the same. You'll notice that they didn't put surcharges in on sauerkraut. That's because there is no accurate way to measure emissions as all the results of people eating sauerkraut. I mean, I'm just saying, some things to think about.
Who truly cares what this guy has to say? Who gives a shit? Rated R Safety Show.
I mean, you did get it, right? I mean, emission from sauerkraut. I mean, I'm just saying. So just some stuff to talk about. I'm just saying some weird stuff because that's how the world goes back and forth in regards of the things that we get to do around here. So there you go. Always some fun times as we are hanging out and doing our thing. With that being said, why don't we do this real quick? Why don't we go ahead and bring in some John Smalls into our life and let him tell us a little bit about what the hell is going on with the Motivation Minute.
Motivation Minute, brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Patty. Wendy Kopp said, I often hear from new graduates that it's better to wait until you have more experience. But I'm a big believer in the power of inexperience. It was the greatest asset I had when I started TFA. If I had known at the outset how hard it was going to be, I might never have started. The world needs you before you stop asking naive questions, and while you still have time to understand the true nature of the complex problems we face and take them on. I love that. I remember when I began working in radio, I didn't know what I didn't know, but I used that to do things that other people told me I couldn't do. Now, the fact that you're hearing me on the radio right now, over 30 years later, is a big testament to that. Thank you.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. In his book of prayers, Michael Quost writes, quote, I'm afraid of saying, yes, Lord. Where will you take me? I'm afraid of drawing the long straw. I'm afraid of signing my name on an unread agreement. I'm afraid of the yes that entails other yeses. Oh, Lord, I'm afraid of your demands. But who can resist you? That your kingdom may come and not mine. That your will may be done and not mine. Help me to say yes. May the Lord help all of us to say yes today. Lord Jesus, help us to pray, not my will, but your will be done. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have held their first rally together in Philadelphia after she chose him as Democratic running mate in the race for the White House. Nobel Prize-winning banker Mohammed Yunus will lead Bangladesh's interim government. Hamas has named Yahya Sinwar as its new overall leader. And UK police say they are prepared and resourced ahead of possible disorder in the country on Wednesday.
Always replicated, but never duplicated. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. 54 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday. Let's talk real quick about some things that happened back on this date. As I take a look around, let's see, back in 1992, yes, 1992, the Orlando Magic signed number 1 draft pick Shaquille O'Neal. His deal was worth $40 million over 7 years, the most lucrative in team history at the time. That happened back in 1992, like I said. If you're looking at some birthdays for today, I have some of those for you. Jalen Hurts turns 26. Kyler Murray turns 27. Brett Gray, 28. Mike Trout, 33. DeMar DeRozan, 35. Michael Blastine, 36. Sidney Crosby turns 37. Charlize Theron turns 49. Michael Shannon turns 50. Wayne Knight, 69. Robert Mueller, 80. And Tobin Bell turns 82 today. That's if you're looking at some birthdays. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, well, I have some of those as well. It's Purple Heart Day, Regatta Day, Professional Speaker Day, National Sea Serpent Day, National Raspberry Cream Day, National Psychiatric Technician Appreciation Day, National Opportunity Day, Professional Engineer Day, Particularly Perspective Packaging Day, and National Lighthouse Day. So there you go. Always some things to take a look at as we are hanging out and doing our thingo for sure together. So there you go. Also, if you need some whack facts, well, it's Wednesday, so why would we not need some whack facts? Because I think that Wednesdays is the perfect time to talk about some whack facts. Do you agree or disagree? Or would you rather go, did you know? Let's do some whack facts. If you're 18 years old, you have about 3,000 weekends left in your lifetime. 5% of people never experience headaches. WD-40 has never been patented because doing so would force the company to disclose the recipe. 40 is the only number in the English that has the letters in alphabetical order. The entire internet weighs the same as one large strawberry. Sitting on the toilet for 8 hours uses the same number of calories of 1 hour worth of jogging. Something tells me there are some people out there that would prefer to sit on the toilet thing. I'm just saying, it's kind of the way that it goes sometimes in regards to what's going on. Anyways, before I forget, let's talk about this Conklin Conference coming up September the 10th through the 12th in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Todd Conklin, Jen Long, Andrea Baker, Bob Edwards will be some of the people that are there talking about the world of human and organizational performance. To find out more information, all you need to do is go to safetyfm.io. That's safetyfm.io to find out more information about what's going on. So once you get there, it's going to tell you the breakdown of what's going to be going on over those few days in Santa Fe, as we will be talking about the world of human and organizational performance and talking about how you can apply this into your workplace and some other things. You know, we kind of cover a gamut of stuff, not a damn it of stuff, but a gamut of stuff in regards to that. So safetyfm.io for more information on the things that are going on. Anyways, if you need a random joke for today, I'm pretty sure I have one of those. Adulting is a soup, and I am a fork. So there you go. If you need a phone starter today, what is the most expensive thing that you've broken? Yeah, I would say a relationship or two. There you go. If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. The average person will eat 3,135 of these in their lifetime. What are they? Bananas. Unless you're a minion, you're definitely not eating that. You're definitely eating more than that. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time together. Thank you for hanging out with me on this lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday. At the top of the hour, I'll be going over to Radio Big to talk about the world of entertainment and doing some music stuff over there if you want to come out and hang out with me. If you stay on Safety FM, you'll get to hang out with Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. So there you go, some options for you. Thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it makes no sense to do what we do around here. If I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. There are no shortcuts to any place worth going to. Keep that in mind as you move forward today. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
one that fights to the pain. I'm the new leader, it's time for a change. What you know about living in the rain, living in the cold, hating every day, but then you still want to do it anyway. That's not you, yeah, we are not the same. I put the work in, you complain, I'm a rebel.